comes 6 days after Prime Modi's visit to the state. Roughly, I would say, historic visit of Prime Minister Modi. The village is located in Bishnupur, which is not under the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Assam Rifles vehicle was on a routine administrative duty doing relief job in a denotified area where AFSPA is not implemented. Though the violence in Manipur has come down, but the peace is frozen. We can't say that the peace has come, but the violence has come down. In an exclusive interview with News9, I am joined by Lieutenant General Dr. Pradeep C, Nair, former Director General Assam Rifles, to decode why this ambush has happened and its implication on the peace process in Manipur. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me. My first question, why were AR soldiers engaged in relief work ambushed by the militants, sir?
Karthikeya, firstly, thank you for having me over. Why were the people who were involved in relief operations ambushed? That's a question. Yes, it's pertinent to bring to the notice of your viewers that this very battalion, 33 Assam Rifles, was engaged extensively in extending flood relief to the beleaguered people of Manipur Valley. And there were quite a few columns which are out till about a day earlier, I'm told, that is 18th, till 18th of September, and one day later, this ambush happens. Now, why has this happened is a question which only the perpetrators can answer. We can only kind of hazard guesses. And the guesses that I can make maybe or may not be correct. But what I want to highlight here is a lot of what happens in Manipur is also messaging. So this could be just to tell or bring to the notice of the people here in Delhi, the highest people here, post the visit of the Prime Minister, that things are not normal. But I've been writing on this, that the Prime Minister's visit to Manipur has calmed tempers a lot. It's made a lot of difference to the sentiments of the people there. So one is to send a messaging to people here in Delhi. Second could also be because of the bandh that was called, 21st, that is yesterday, with regard to the merger of Manipur, which happened in 1949. Again, every year, there is some activity that happens preceding this particular date. So it could be either of these or it could be something else.
Sir, do you think our valley-based militants still active? And who do you think are the men behind this attack, sir?
That is, of course, for the investigating agencies to find out, and I'm sure that they wouldn't have wasted a moment to get into the depth of this. We can only kind of make guesses. There are militants who are active, and this is a valley region. Bishnupur district is a valley district. In fact, this is also a district which I was looking after when I was the brigade commander many years back there. So the militants here always used to be mostly based in Myanmar, and then they used to make forays into Manipur, carry out their strike and go back. But lately, because of the disturbed situation in Manipur, I'm told there is a lot of trans-border movement that is happening both ways. So some of them could have just come across, undertaken this ambush, or probably they were there here earlier, and then they would have gone back or gone wherever into hiding.
What needs to be done to curtail such ambushes? If you recall, sir, in 2021, Colonel Biplav Tripathi and his family were ambushed. The entire family passed away, sir.
Yes, that happened on the 13th of November 2021, if I remember the date correct. This family and the 5 Jawans also who were killed in that unfortunate ambush. Now, again, it's very easy to ask, how can we avoid? The fact is, from then to now, it's been 4 years. And in these 4 years, nothing of this kind has happened. It doesn't mean that the militants were not present there or did not attempt to ambush Assam Rifle or Indian Army columns thereafter. I'm sure they would have made many other attempts also, but it is to the credit of the security forces, the Assam Rifles, and the Indian Army that nothing of this kind has happened for 4 long years. It's a long period. So I think rather than finding faults with the security forces, one must give them credit for the fact that in a situation as disturbed as it is in Manipur, they have still held their own.
An intelligence failure because villagers had an idea. People are saying that the villagers had an idea, but it seems that the security was caught unaware. Because a lot of people were saying that, the place was empty when this ambush took place.
Yeah, I've also heard that, and I've heard it from Manipur that at the point of time when this vehicle was passing through the village of Nambol Nikai, there were not very many people. There were for certain IMAs, certain women were there, and hardly any vehicles. It was only this particular vehicle, I think a silver-colored van is what media reports say, in which the militants were sitting. That was probably the only vehicle that was present. And as it often happens, more often than not, it is by coercion. When the militants decide to undertake something like this, they do caution the villagers. And I repeat, I don't want to say that the villagers were complicit in this. If they were aware, they would have been aware because of the pressure that was brought on them. And if they did not listen to them, there would have been repercussions for them. So it is more out of intimidation, out of fear, that the villagers would have kept quiet.
Completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. In conflict areas, the local peoples are the one who bear the brunt.
Yes, absolutely. And in terms of intelligence failure, we already discussed this. It's very difficult to get stern inputs when they decide to do something like this. And Manipur has a history of such ambushes undertaken by militants at multiple places, not just the valley, but even in the hills.
Let me ask you a sort of a broader question, sir. Manipur is witnessing frozen peace. It is peaceful without peace. And you were there during its most turbulent time. Your comments, sir.
Karthikeya, pardon my saying this. I'm an eternal optimist. I kind of rephrase my words whenever I say. I mean, this term of frozen peace itself, I don't agree with that. I would say rather that things are a lot better. The media has to take it on in a very big way. The national media in particular, to give a positive spin to what has happened. Just look at the levels of violence. And you've said that yourself in your opening remarks, that the violence levels have dropped immensely from the commencement of this year, from February, when the president's rule was imposed here. And there was hardly anything except for this incident which has taken place. So given the fact that there has been a huge turbulence in the state for the last close to 2.5 years, you can't expect things to suddenly change overnight. It is a gradual process, and that process had begun. If this continues, and I'm not saying merely by this ambush that things have, all turned for the worse. Not the case. I still feel that we are gradually inching towards normalcy. Yes, it will take time. The minds of people are immensely polarized, but it's not that there's no going back. I've been writing on this. There is a lot of psychological healing, mental health issues involved in this, to get the minds of the people back to what they were earlier, when they lived together as one community. And it's not that it cannot happen. It can happen. It will take time.
Assam Rifle is the sentinel of the Northeast. How can the hands be strengthened by the government for the force? Do you think that in some areas AFSPA should be reintroduced? I know it's a very contested political issue. People have very different views on it. Your thoughts about it, sir?
Yeah, there are two parts to this question of yours. I'll begin with the latter part, which is the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, AFSPA. It's an act which is demonized immensely by media, many other people. But remember, this is an empowering act for the security forces if they have to do their task or undertake their operations successfully. Now, uh, like you said, there were certain police stations, certain areas from where the Armed Forces Special Powers Act was withdrawn in the past couple of years. And whenever the government decides to do that, there are certain inputs that it takes from the state security agencies, from the intelligence agencies, as to whether the Armed Forces Special Powers Act is actually required or not. And wherever they feel that the law and order situation is okay, it is kind of taken back, it's revoked. But there is always an understanding in case things go bad. Like, let's say in Bishnupur, for example, it's for the government and the agencies involved to take a call whether it needs to be reintroduced. Because whenever you reintroduce the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of adverse media coverage, and nobody would take into cognizance what has happened and why is it required. So it may be reinstituted. I'm not sure. It's a call that the government would undertake. The other part of your question was related to what was it you asked?
Strengthening the Assam Rifles, called the
Strengthening
Central.
the Assam Rifles. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that. It's a continuous process. There are a lot of technological, weaponry, gadgetry that are being sent into the force. Modernization is happening at a good pace. A lot of these night vision devices, sensors, drones, all of this is coming. So I think the government is empowering not just the Assam Rifles, but all the other security forces that are involved in Manipur.
Thank you. Thank you, General Nair. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me, because Manipur must come back to where it started from, which is pre-2023, and those who are responsible must be brought to book. So this was on point 2. In on point 3, the question is simple. Why should India play with Pakistan? Why should we deal with the stupid tantrums? And why should we tolerate this boorish buffoonery on field? And let me get to the point straight away. Without wasting anyone's time, Pakistan